Well, I was fortunate to have a number of really terrific mentors. In graduate school, there were two that stand out. Bill McGuire, who was brilliant but a little bit crazy, and Mahzarin Banaji, who was tough but so inspiring and just so full of energy to do good, important work that mattered for society. So the combination of the two of them in graduate school was fantastic for me. And then after graduate school, I had a great postdoc advisor, Aryeh Kruglansky, who is one of the most amazing ambassadors for the field of social psychology. He was just so enthusiastic about everything everybody was doing and was so good at talking and communicating about its importance and so on. But I probably never would have even made it that far if I hadn't had a really spectacular mentor as an undergraduate student at Duke University. Irving Alexander was his name. He was a professor of personality and clinical psychology primarily, and he just resonated enthusiasm. He would just be gripped by the power of ideas and was just fascinated by the relationship between human beings, their personalities, their psychic life, and their ideas as scientists or artists or creators of different ways. And his way of sewing connections between these things was just an amazing thing to witness. He wrote a book called Personology, which is about the study of lives, in which he takes a very kind of holistic approach to people's mental lives and psychological lives and social circumstances, was very attentive also to historical and political events. And Irving Alexander, who was so kind to me, gave me the sense as an undergraduate student that I had something worth talking about, worth thinking about, worth exploring, and invited me as an undergraduate student to take his graduate course on personality assessment, which was an amazing experience. Learned how to administer projective tests and non-projective tests, to do clinical interviews, to think about how all the various elements of a person's life come together for them. And that was just a remarkable experience. And Irving Alexander also introduced me to the work of Sylvan Tompkins, which I only now realize was extremely important in my intellectual development. Irving had been a student of Sylvan Tompkins and then later a best friend. When I knew him in the 1980s, Irving was speaking with Sylvan Tompkins on the telephone, I think still every day. And Sylvan Tompkins did a lot of things on the psychology of emotion and things like this, but he also was interested in the left-right dimension, not only in politics, but as a general dimension of personality and human behavior. So he regarded the left-right dimension in politics as one among many manifestations of underlying tensions in human nature that apply also to art and mathematics and other forms of culture. Virtually every aspect of human life he thought was characterized by a kind of polarity between an open, egalitarian, change-seeking mode and a kind of preserving of traditions and honoring of hierarchies and so on. And that so much of life was this kind of a struggle, both within people and between people, over these fundamental issues. And I didn't realize it until recently, but just learning about Sylvan Tompkins' work from Irving Alexander influenced my thinking in ways that are immeasurable.